Well, welcome back, guys. We all know the tales of Roly Poly Oly, Rise of the Guardians, and Jack Frost, just to name a few. Now, if you've ever wondered who's behind these incredible stories, it's the one and only Shreveport native and very talented author Bill Joyce, who is here this morning to tell us about his novel, Ollie's Odyssey, that is now a 4-part adaptation that will air today on Netflix. Bill, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I always love having you in the show. You always bring a little bit of magic to our studios. So first this morning, take us back to a time when you were 5 years old, and I understand that you lost something very near and dear to you.
Yeah, you have him right now.
Yes.
This story started 60 years ago, or almost 60 years ago. I lost my bear, this guy.
This little guy right here.
On Christmas Day, right after I turned 5 years old. And for 20 years, I had no clue. It was a real family mystery, like where he gone.
Yes.
And then just before I got married, 20 years later, I was up in my parents' attic, and I found him in a box.
Yes.
So I haven't lost him since. He's made it through a lot, and I sent him to Los Angeles to be refurbished about 6 years ago. They have a hospital there that fixes bears.
Oh, I love that. Well, he is in great shape. Now, this is a little guy that inspired Ollie's Odyssey. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, when you have a favorite toy and you're a kid, and that bond is just so powerful, and if you lose that toy, and many people do, you know, it's heartbreaking. It's like you lost a family member, a best friend.
Yes.
And so I'd gone through that. I understood it. I had friends with kids that were, you know, they're always worried about losing their favorite, their plushie, their whatever they called them. Mm-hmm. And I just went, this is a great and powerful story to tell about the amazing, like, sort of bond that we have with something that's just made out of fabric and stitching and stuffing, you know? That they're as real to us as people are, and that's a very powerful thing, and that we grow out of them, you know, but we remember them.
Yes.
So that was the point of it.
Well, there is a beautiful story about loss, and I want to talk about loss for a second. You mentioned it a minute ago, Bill, but you lost two incredible people in your life, two great tragedies of your life, and something that really struck me when reading about your story is that Elizabeth, when she was in the last year of her life, she couldn't communicate. She could only communicate with her eyes. So tell me about your wife.
Well, I mean, we lost our daughter several years previous, and then Elizabeth came down with ALS and slowly lost the ability to move and speak. And that's when I was writing the novel. And so I would read it to her as I was going along. I'd always read stuff that I was writing to her, just because she was such a good read. I mean, she was smart enough to not tell me when she thought something was lousy, but I could tell on her face, or her just that, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board on this.
Yes.
But when she was sick, I mean, and she could only communicate with her eyes, reading Ollie to her was very special, and she just would light up, this radiant, you know, look on her face, so I knew I was on the right track. You know? That's incredible. Yeah.
So this story is now being turned into an adaptation that's going to air today on Netflix called Lost Ollie. What did it feel like to see Ollie's Odyssey kind of come to life on the screen? What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I've done this a bunch. I think this is my 6th, you know, thing that's been filmed. And it's always awesome to see those guys start to walk around and talk. And this was exactly the way we had really planned for it to be a live-action series with computer-generated toys that seem as real as they can be.
Yes. Well, I watched the trailer, and you're seeing bits of it right now during this interview, but we certainly want to encourage you out there to check it out on Netflix. Also, go purchase the book. Bill, where can we grab this book?
You know, I think on Amazon, hopefully locally, and it's been doing really well over the years. It's in 20 languages now.
Wow!
So you know,
that's insane.
Look, sometimes these things take off and find an international audience, and that's very satisfying.
It's just a story about loss and friendship and loyalty and just beautiful things that we all experience and live through. So we certainly want them to find something that they can relate to in this story.
Look, I always tell people I make my books for the grown-up in every child and the child in every adult. And this this will appeal to adults as much as to kids.
Yes. Bill, thank you so much for being with us this
Thanks for
morning.
having me.
We certainly appreciate it, guys. Bill Joy is bringing a little bit of magic to our studios this morning. Check it out on Netflix, Lost Ollie, and you want to grab Ollie's Odyssey as well. Read it to your kids, read it to yourself, and just have a great time.